Hello, everyone. Yes, welcome to today's live session. So, guys, looking at what happened today at the election tribunal, for us, democracy was murdered. I mean, Nigerians least expected what they saw and what they heard at the election tribunal. We were thinking that our judges will help us recover Nigeria, but everybody is like shocked considering the kind of ruling that we had today at the election tribunal. Looking at what we have here on the screen, you can read it with me. It says, when the law no longer protects you from the corrupt or protects the corrupt from you, you know your nation is doomed. That is it. So I want us to take a look at this clip. Then I'll bring in Dr. Etel to analyze what happened today at the election tribunal. I want to tell you that the mood of Nigerians is not really the good one. I mean, so many people are not happy with what happened today. But we know we are still going to regain our mandate. Let's take a look at this clip.
I was reminding everybody that the judges are not from Singapore. The judges in the tribunal are not from Singapore.
Know that.
Well, yesterday I was reminding everybody that the judges are not from Singapore. The judges in the tribunal are not from Singapore. And they didn't fall from heaven. They are Nigerians, as corrupt as all of us. So that we be realistic in our expectations.
Yes, Doc, please, you just have to come in, break down what happened today to the best of your knowledge so that our viewers will get to know exactly how the ruling went. Because I know that so many Nigerians are not happy with the kind of ruling we have today. And you can hear this, our dear bishop, saying that our judges, they didn't fall from the moon. Neither are they from Singapore. They are the same Nigerians, who has helped Nigeria to be in the ditch that Nigeria is today. We're hoping that this time our judges will stand firm. But honestly, what happened today is still a shock. It's still a shock to many people. So, Doc, please come in and break down to our viewers what happened and give us your own thoughts too.
Yes, good evening, our viewers and listeners. I am glad that despite the shock we are suffering and the pain we are nursing, that you're still able to gather yourself to come here in this space to get a feel of our own heartbeats and our response to what I will call a rape of democracy today. I align myself with this priest. I definitely align myself with him. And I raised an alarm when the ministers were appointed and sent to the National Assembly. The moment I saw a name there, Prince Lateef Fagbemi, all of you who have been following us on this channel know that since that day I've been screaming. How can you pick, even before the portfolios were assigned to them, I started saying this name will become the Attorney General and Minister of Justice. There are a lot of other lawyers there. There are a lot of other professors and SAN there. But his name alone sparked up something in my brain. And I said, if eventually they make him the Minister of Justice and the Attorney General and Minister of Justice, a man whom the judgment of a case he defended has not even been given. You are now going to make the man who will give the judgment in his own case to become subordinate to him. I said, this thing is giving me worry. It's like this election petition is completely rigged. But my concern used to be at the Supreme Court, if you people remember. I used to say that they have positioned him to go and read the Supreme Court so that whatever the appeal court brings, they will throw it down at the appeal court. I didn't even know that the riot act they gave him to read was from the rank and file, from the Supreme Court down to anywhere. And so, that being said, you understand where I'm coming from. Yesterday, during our session, I literally broke down when I was doing that 8 or 10 minutes recording that we aired before our session yesterday. And I saw someone who went online to say, but you have analyzed the whole petition. Why are you having a cold feet? Well, as the bishop here said, the bishop did not say that we have intelligent lawyers, intelligent judges who will be able to adjudicate based on the constitution and the law, but who will deliver whatever they will deliver from the muddy water of corruption, from the muddy water of corrupt system. That being said, let's go to what happened today and let's see how many we can deal. To be honest, I am not really in my normal self to talk to. So if we do like 30 minutes and I say, let's continue tomorrow, I hope people will bear with me. But let's start from the first one, the very first one, which is important, that has to do with INEC. This court summarily said today that INEC has the right in the mode to choose the mode with which they can use to transmit the result. That's technically half of it is truth. Half of it is truth in that the Electoral Act specified the model whereby our result will be transmitted. It says electronically. And then it said that INEC will choose the electronic method they will use. Remember that in 2019 and in 2015, they used smart card reader. So in order to make sure that not when they now get more like maybe another version of electronics, when they will now say, go and change the law and write smart card reader to beavers. They said any electronic system. And now the law requires that INEC must provide in writing the guideline for the election. So what it means, Nigerians, I'm talking to us and I want us, the milk is spilled. What we are simply doing tonight is so that it is important you know when you're robbed. And you can beat your chest and say, I was robbed by a man who has a gun. I couldn't challenge him because he has a gun. Not because you don't know that that person does not have a right to what he's collecting from you. In giving INEC the power to choose the way they will transmit the election, the law requires that INEC must publish it in a guideline. And the guideline that INEC published and given to the political parties before the election said in section 38 that first and foremost, after the votes were counted, the result will be declared. And when the result is declared, the agent will sign. The polling unit officer will use beavers to do accreditation and use the same beavers to snap the result and then upload it to the IREV. In 2019, the electronic method that INEC chose was card reader. But in 2023, the electronic they chose is beavers. And so they will upload it. After uploading it, they will bring a Ziploc envelope. The polling unit officer will now put it in that Ziploc envelope, seal it, and send it to the collation officer. When they got to the collation point, the law required in section 47 of the Electoral Act that collation officer must first of all compare what is on the IREV and make sure that what he was given physically, that they are the same. Meaning there must be a check before you collate. And if the checks out, he will collate. If he didn't check out, he will use the one that is on the IREV to collate the result. So fellow Nigerians, if the judges says that uploading results is at the prerogative and at the choice of INEC, what they said is this. They have simply said that INEC can keep their plan in their chest and just change anytime without telling anybody. Because if you are going to make sure that all parties no party feels partially used, you must print whatever method you're going to use. Because it means that it was only APC that knew the method that INEC have chosen. Because the only one that was published, INEC did not follow it. I want the judges to prove to us that the guideline that INEC published, that they followed it. INEC jettisoned the guideline that they published and manufactured a new one after the election had been concluded. They changed the rule while the game was at play. Nigerians, that is how you were robbed today. That is how these 5 justices who were reading the judgment as if somebody wrote it and gave to them. That is how you were robbed today. The justices who were calling Justice Peter Obi was never a judge. It is impossible that a retired justice of the Supreme Court, that even if she was the person they wanted to mention, Mary Odele is a popular name in our electoral, in our judicial system. Okay, let's just leave that alone. Another thing they said was that Labour Party did not mention the polling units of the 18,088 blood results that they brought to the court. Let me ask us a question here. 18,088. I have said it in this particular space that in the case of Ihedioha versus Hope Uzodimma, the Supreme Court judgment of Ihedioha versus Hope Uzodimma, Ihedioha came to the court with his own results, brought in polling unit agents of PDP, and the court ruled that the result of INEC has more probate value than the party agent, and that after the one of INEC, the next one they will collect is the police copy. And because Hope Uzodimma submitted police copy, they took police copy. And so Labour Party succeeded in going to INEC, who gave them the election material certified. And they brought 10,088 polling units that was blood. According to our Evidence Act, the burden of proof has now shifted to the person who certified the document. INEC is supposed to come and explain why the document they have, that document they have is government property. The result that Labour Party asked INEC is, give me the result that you used to declare the election you declared. And they gave Labour Party blank sheets. The judge, according to our Evidence Act, should ask INEC to come and substantiate how the result became a blank sheet. But our judges decided not to think about that. They gave INEC a clean bill. They passed INEC. And then again, they were talking about bringing polling unit agents to come and identify those results. Okay, how many days did that court sit? And how many hours did they sit in a day? They wanted 10,088 polling unit agents to come. Even if you give them 1 second, will they be able to be accommodated? So what it means is this. By what the judges did today, if the Supreme Court upholds it, they are trying to say any human being INEC declares the president in Nigeria, forget it, don't waste your time. You can never challenge it. You will never be able to challenge it. That is what the judges say today. Then they said again that if we move on to the issue of the qualifications, they called everything qualification a pre-election matter. Okay, let me ask a question. Why did tribunals, we heard it in Kano State, that tribunal has already sacked somebody in House of Rep because of false certificates. We had it in Sokoto State that tribunal has already sacked another person because of not going to school that he claimed he went to. Are those things not a pre-election matters? Okay, but let's put it this way. INEC is a central body that is supervising all of us, and INEC sets a standard. It's like there is a 100-meter race, and INEC is the referee, and INEC has set a standard. And I came with my spike, and I stayed, and I am supposed to have a timeline. I got to that place, I fulfilled the timeline. And my opponent decided to come tomorrow and say, it doesn't matter that this other fellow, that he ran his own race, so I am ready to run now. Just monitor my time and use my time. If I beat his own record, I am the winner. If I didn't beat his record, he's the winner. That is what the judges tells us today, because our law specified that if you're going to change a candidate, you must do it within 14 days. They changed vice presidential candidate. Who stands to challenge it? Is it the party that will challenge itself or the opposing party? Is it the party that will challenge itself or the opposing party? Nigerians, it is important you know why you were robbed and how you were robbed. I strongly believe that the Riot Act was read for the judiciary, especially by the appointment of the new minister. I strongly believe, this is my own belief, that minister who will run their budget, who will submit their budget to the president, who is now their boss, who can recommend for them to be fired. Like you know how the former Chief Justice of Nigeria was wrecked by the former Attorney General of the Federation. Are you connecting what I'm saying now? The former Attorney General of the Federation and the Minister of Justice destroyed the career of the former Chief Justice of Nigeria. And this person is coming. And this person, either directly or by body language, may have signaled and said, hey, guy, I am the new sheriff in town. I just submitted a case to you people that you people have not ruled on. And I am now your boss. You better sit up. You better shape up or shape out. Nigeria, that is how we were robbed. Can you ask me some other questions? I I am just.
Please, can you say something on the 25%? Because they equally trashed that.
You see, I will leave the 25% to them. The 25%, we have explained it and said it, but you know one thing, they are the judges. They can even decide to say on the day of election, nobody should vote in Abuja alone. It's their business. I am not offended on the judgment of the 25% in Abuja as much as I am offended with these judges saying that INEC, that Labour Party could not prove that INEC did not comply substantially. In fact, there is no way you can bring witness enough to exhaust the abuse of INEC, because it's so substantial that if you begin to bring a witness from all the polling units, by now, even if you're giving the witness 5 minutes, they wouldn't have finished testifying. And remember, they said again, you know that 10 out of 13 witnesses that INEC brought in, they rejected all of them. They rejected in fact, they rejected the Amazon Web Service witness, the girl that came because she is a member of Labour Party. But they accepted the witness of APC, who is a serving senator. How do you reconcile it? Is he not an interested party? Okay. Then they said that all the evidence and the witness must be front loaded. Do you know what it means? Front loaded. So they rejected the certified true copy given to them by INEC, whereas the whole Nigeria were aware that Labour Party were every day going to keep vigil in front of INEC, begging for certified true copy of the document that only them can certify. That even when the trial was going, INEC was still reluctantly certifying. And the same INEC who was reluctantly certifying came back to say that those documents they certified should not be accepted because it was not front-loaded, and the judges accepted it. How do you handle it? The police pulled a gun and killed somebody in the broad daylight. People saw it. But for you to get any proof that the police did it, you must go to the police headquarters to get police reports that that person was killed. And the police decided to keep their own staff and refused to give the police extract. And then you came to court. Police gave you the extract much later when it is late, according to their own judgment. And the judges said, the police report you brought is late. Even though in that report, the police may have admitted that we killed the person, but because you brought it late, we will not entertain it. What does that mean? Does that not mean that the police and the court has collaborated to deny justice? So, Nigerians, I feel one thing. I feel one thing here. The system, the cabal, they are on one side. Nigerians are on one side. And unfortunately for us, Peter Obi is the representative of the people versus the system. The system are together. The whole system are together. The judiciary, the INEC, the executive, all of them are in one team versus us. And funny enough, they have the gun, They have the hammer, they have the banks, they have everything. They have deployed everything against us. What they told us is, your vote is nonsense. That's what they said. What they said to Nigerians is that your vote is nonsense. Because by the time they declared the result, they hadn't any vote, any result. They just declared it. And they told you, if you want us to accept it, you have to go right round in the whole country and bring polling unit agents, 176,000 polling units. That is what the court is trying to say. That if you say that the election did not hold in 176,000 polling units, you must bring 176,000 witnesses. How many hours is in a day? How many hours do we have in 180 days? And how many hours of sitting did the court sit? Beside, the argument of Labour Party is not a polling unit level argument, it's the collation level argument. The argument of Labour Party is at collation level argument, and there is no way you will wriggle through the collation level argument without touching beavers, touching IREV. And that is why they completely didn't even, they just technically knocked it out. They didn't even want to touch it at all, because they know that if they touch those documents Labour Party gave them, it's so stickingly smelling that there's no way they will wriggle out of it. And all the while we are here, that I keep saying, I said, oh, these men, they don't have time. They don't even have time. They are busy reading every document, reviewing all the evidence, everything Labour Party submitted. That's what they are going through before they begin to summarize. I didn't know that they were having party all this while. They could have delivered the judgments 1 month ago. They could have delivered it 1 month ago. It's a shame. It's a shame that look, let me ask us a question. Let's look at this particular drug issue. Don't we have in America today people who have gone to serve their time for drug related issues, and they're on the street? Don't we have them? The man has paid the fine. The forfeiture is the fine. He's free to move in and out. Nobody is banning him again. He has paid the price for he has done his time. That is what it means. How can the judges rule? So, which means first and foremost, they have recognized. Oh my goodness! How do these people even look at it? If, assuming you get a parking ticket and you pay the ticket, don't you still drive your car? You drive your car when you pay the parking ticket. Assuming your bank says there's a direct debit in your account that didn't go through and they surcharge you for it, do they close your bank account? Haven't you paid the price of the failure of the direct debit? Assuming there is a form you're supposed to submit and you didn't submit, and they say the price for submitting it late is extra charge, and you pay it, would they reject the form? Haven't you paid the charge? The judgment concluded the verdict is the forfeiture. In fact, it's not even the whole 460,000 that was in the account. 460,000 was the one the government collected, and the little one that is remaining, they asked them to send it back to another account. So nobody is stopping him from going or coming back because he has paid the price. So I found out that what the judges have been doing these 3 weeks is begging, listen, I believe, begging the paymaster, please. Nigerians will lynch also. They say, we don't care. I'm just trying to dramatize it. We don't care. You have to find a way to wriggle out of wriggle. You have to find a way to destroy and to quash this case. And now they just realize that the best thing to do it is to technically just say, we are not touching your evidence at all. They just knocked it off. Nigerian, I just wanted us to do like 30 minutes. I don't know. I feel like we could just call it off and maybe continue tomorrow. But what I want to say is this. You have been robbed because you are powerless. When Nigerians trooped out to demonstrate during the NSAS, they opened bullets on us and killed many. And now Lagos State is using more than almost 600 to 700,000 to bury one body since 2020, making other people's rich off the life of some people's body. And then last year, they said, oh, no. Let your PVC be your power. Nigerians trooped out, the youths trooped out to go get their PVC. On the day of election, they shot us. They beat us. They manhandled us. Yet we still stood there with bloodied eyes. After voting, they refused to upload it. And they declared the results. And Nigerians, we were told, no problem, be calm, go to court. We have gone to court. And they told us that they own the court. They decide what the court will say. What else can you do? Nigeria, what else can you do? Somebody said, oh, we go to Supreme Court. Listen, if you have followed me in this platform, I have been more skeptical of Supreme Court more than even this level. I was always thinking that this level is going to be so hard on INEC so that the Supreme Court is going to be struggling to overturn. But this one, it looks like they have prepared the ground. If an appeal is made today, I tell you the Supreme Court can give their judgment in 3 days, because as I'm talking to you now, something tells me that the Supreme Court judgment has been written, read by the paymasters and approved, just waiting for whatever dates. So the question is, what are you going to do, oh Nigerians? There is nothing you can do except God helps you. There's nothing. Because, as I said, they have the gun, they have the hammer. They also have the policies that can make you poor. How do I mean? When they devalued Naira, did it stop them from packing dollars with themselves? No. When they increased the rate for fuel, did it stop them from driving long convoy? No. So they have the money. They have the policy that can choke you or make you breathe. They have the hammer of the court. They have the gun of the military. You have nothing except God. I know He works in miraculous ways, and I believe in God. But maybe He could just come, He could just spring up something for us. He could spring up something for us. But as per the hope of the common man, I like that banner you brought up before. Bring out that banner that is talking about corruption. In fact, that banner is stronger than this thing you brought here. Everybody, we have all read this thing. What are we doing with it again? Let this remain here. I like this banner. And thank you for publishing it. So when the law no longer protects you from the corrupt, but protect the corrupt from you, you know your nation is doomed. Because who remind me those people who is asking us to go to court? It's the same people that is strangulating us, that is asking us to go to court. So court now ends up validating and endorsing them. So they are now called Your Excellency as declared by the courts. Madam, I'm done for tonight. We'll continue tomorrow.
Yeah, Doc, thank you very much. Honestly, everybody's feeling the pain that you are feeling. every patriotic Nigerian is not happy with what happened today at the election tribunal.
Can I
When,
ask one question? Can I ask you one question?
right.
Okay. A political party won a judgment today. Show me the streets of Nigeria where people are jubilating. Just show me. Show me the video clip all over the internet. Just show me from the internet where at least some people are jubilating. Show me. Show me. There was once in Nigeria when a sitting president died, there was an eruption of joy all over Nigeria. A president died. But here, a president is supposedly validated by the court, and there nobody is celebrating. And the judges have told us they don't care. They don't care. When last week, Friday, the body of benchers and the body of bars, those who sit in the bar and those who sit in the bench, were at the same party, drinking and talking, I was afraid. I was alarmed. When retired Justice of the Supreme Court was on the same podium praising the lawyer of the sitting president in a case that has not been decided, praising their smartness and warning us to brace up. Didn't I say it yesterday? That it reminds me what happened in Enugu State. How, as they were manipulating, INEC was manipulating the result in Abuja. Enugu State people were keeping vigil at INEC office at Independence Layout. Senator Jim Nwobodo came to talk to them and say, "Oh, my people, you are like my children. I like the way you people are well behaved. You're not rioting. You're just singing and praying and dancing and eating. Well, let me beg you people, when the result is eventually declared, whatever the result is, you people we should all take it." That same card, you see, like they said, the devil doesn't have new strategy, same old strategy. That same card is what they played last weekend. They gathered. They used the so-called Gazamas colloquium to try to psychologically tune us and prepare us. Thank God that even both Atiku and Peter Obi was not there. I am sure, in fact, I am sure one of the judges, because I believe that these judges did this under duress. See the way they were reading the judgment? I am sure one of them may have tipped them and said, "Guys, don't come. Don't come." You remember day before yesterday when I was saying it day before yesterday? That some of these judges may probably be calling their daughters, their sons-in-laws, or their daughters-in-law, their grandchildren, saying, "My children, I don't have a choice. This is what I am asked to do." And if you look at it, it is plausible. Just before 2019 election, a sitting chief judge of the Federation was pulled down by the Attorney General. Code of conduct. You did not declare your assets. This and that and that and that. I'm sure somebody must have told all these judges what happened to Walter Onowen may not be far from any one of you. Sit up and do the right thing. Do you understand what I mean? I'm sure they may have been tipped and told that the same card, the same parts, the same vehicle that took Walter Onowen out of the Supreme Court, that same vehicle is waiting for anybody who coughs wrongly. It's possible. I didn't say I was told, but it is possible. So as we are here talking, we can actually be talking about men whom they have done what they were done. Invisible gun, our eyes are not seen, may be on their neck when they were doing it. And they are back home mourning their age, mourning their hard-earned integrity, mourning the future of a country that they have betrayed. But they are helpless. I mean, we've seen all this movie all the time. When judges are doing some ridiculous thing, even their children are like, "Daddy, why are you doing?" I just saw one last month, August, a South African movie. And when he finished, the judge said, they made me do it. The minister called me and told me to do it. I didn't have a choice. I don't like it, but I don't have any choice. When they act it in movie, it looks like it's movie. Those people who write those scripts, they're not spirits. They just look at what is happening. Let me tell you, I don't know if you were born around 1985 or 86, but there is a movie we used to watch then, Rambo. And I don't know how I dabbled into it again this week, and I was watching Rambo again. And I saw how the same thing that American soldiers are complaining today is what Rambo was complaining then. How they will abandon their soldiers and sell them out after they have labored for them and all those things. So these people, they have the same system. They have the same method, the same playbook. The judges may have been threatened. Their career, their integrity, everything. They may have been held bound to do what they don't like, what they don't want to do. And as we are talking here, blaming them, they might actually be mourning and crying. But God will judge every one of us, especially those who betrays a nation of young people who are begging for a better country. So tomorrow now, you tell Yahoo boys that they can't be governor. Tomorrow now, you remember, you see, you know who is called Pablo Escobar? Pablo Escobar won election or re-election. He went to the parliament in his country. Good night, madam. I've said so much. Good night. Good night, Nigerians. We'll continue tomorrow. Thank you. We'll continue tomorrow.
Well, thank you very much for your contributions. Honestly, nobody expected what happened today at the election tribunal. How would they even dare tell us that for the fact that the sitting president can still enter the USA, that means that the forfeiture that he forfeited does not count? Then Abuja 25% does not matter anymore. When the constitution says and Abuja, that and they now removed it to tell us that Abuja is just like any other state in Nigeria. I don't know on what basis did they come up with all this, and saying that Peter Obi could not prove that his votes were stolen, with all the evidences that Peter Obi brought in court, all the witnesses that came, the glitch that they told us that happened. We know that a staff of Amazon came to testify that there wasn't any glitch, that the health reports they have indicates that nothing went wrong on that same day. Every other election was uploaded. But when it got to that of the presidential, they told us there was a glitch. And till today, we don't even know what that glitch stands for. So guys, honestly, let's just keep believing that God will do miracle at the Supreme Court, because the doctor has said that he himself is more skeptical when it comes to the Supreme Court than the tribunal. But you've seen the shock that Nigerians received. I mean, they struck everything out. There wasn't even any of the prayers of Mr. Peter Obi that was like upheld as, okay, this one is a strong point on which basis the sitting president can be disqualified. Every prayer that Mr. Peter Obi presented before the tribunal, all of them, not one survived. Nigerians, this is the kind of nation we are building. When they were telling us that if you are not happy, go to court. If you are not happy, go to court. Because they know that they own the courts, they own the judges, they own anything that has to do with the judiciary. It will be under their control. And Nigerians were supposed to have insisted for them to conclude anything that has to do with this tribunal going to court before the inauguration. That was actually what we were saying. I just hope that if there will be an amendment of the electoral law, let this be one of the things that will be there.
Wait. Amend what?
So that we do.
Does the Electoral Act become a law if the president does not sign it? Do you know that this particular Electoral Act 2022 had been ready before 2019 election? Buhari refused to sign it because he knew it was going to affect him. What we are going to witness is, based on this judgment, if it is upheld by the Supreme Court, the complete and total obliteration of anything called beavers and IREV, because it is useless. 2027 will be the worst, because 2027, it's going to be a very big, it's like, don't bother yourself. It is their reward. They fought for this one. They got it. They will collect 2027. You can't stand in their way. You won't stand in their way.
Just like what Buhari did.
Period.
Just like what Buhari did. Honestly, Nigerians, people have seen that APC is never a party to trust, especially for the youths who are still embracing this party. I mean, they don't mean well for the Nigerian people. They don't mean well. Look at the Electoral Act. How much did we even spend in this election? These people are not putting all this into consideration, meaning that the IREV, the beavers that were bought, all the tech that our Mahmoud, I mean the INEC Mahmoud adopted, that we want to follow tech, we need tech, tech will save us, tech will help us. Today, all those things have proven to, to worth nothing. So what was the essence of the new Electoral Act that was signed if the people will not allow it to work? We leave all this in the hands of God. Let's meet again tomorrow to look into all this further. So guys, I want to say a very big thank you. Let's just keep praying that God will still give us victory. Let not our hope be lost totally at this point. Let's still believe. I think with time, people will come out to argue some of these points, because looking at what Justice Samani said today, I mean, so many people are still shocked. The way he came out, the way he was even talking, you won't really see that confidence, as in that he knows what he was saying at that point. Meaning that there might be this strong influence, like Doc has said, that some of them might be under serious pressure. That if you don't do this, in short, that was exactly what happened. Looking at all that played out in court today, none of Atiku's prayer was answered, none of Peter Obi, so everything was trashed just to favor the sitting president. So we are just believing that we'll keep following the law, we'll keep going to court, we'll be going to the Supreme Court to appeal there. We are just believing that God will give us victory. Although Nigeria is not a place that you can just relax and believe that the judiciary will do the needful. Peter Obi told us that we should believe in the court process, that he has gone through it and he came out victorious. And that was how many Nigerians embraced the judiciary, believing that our judges will show that they are now out to remedy Nigeria. But from what happened today, it means that we still really have a long way to go as a country. We are just believing that God will help us as we move on to the Supreme Court. Let justice be served. Let's just keep hoping that that will happen. So guys, thank you so much for being a part of today's live session. Please help us to like this video so that YouTube can recommend it for others to watch. If you've not subscribed to this channel, do us that favor. Please subscribe and don't forget to turn on your notification bell so that each time we have an update, you'll be notified. Thank you very much. And please just try to keep yourself happy. All hope is not yet lost. We believe that when we get to the Supreme Court, our mandate will be given back to us. No doubt, they know that Peter Obi won. Even all the reasons they gave were just flimsy. Looking it from my own point of view, I didn't see any strong thing that they said when they were striking off all these points, all this prayer that Peter Obi brought before them. There wasn't anything that was so strong. They would just tell you that Abuja, it does not matter. It's just like every other state. It's just the "and" was misinterpreted and they struck out that one. For future, they would tell you that it wasn't any criminal thing. If not, he wouldn't have been traveling to the USA. That is just meaning that our judges are basing on the actions of the United States to tell us what is right and what is wrong. So yeah, that is where we found ourselves. No doubt justice will still be served at the Supreme Court. Thank you very much for being a part of today's live session. God bless you and have a very good night's sleep. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.